few weeks ago, I made this video. The basic idea was I was to take somebody else's Twitch chat, interpret their Twitch chat as commands, and play some games. Now, I'll be honest. The video wasn't as great as I could have been. The concept could have been executed, I think, a little bit better. In it, I let both Soda Puppet's chat and Asmongold's chat play Super Mario World. Now, unsurprisingly, they didn't get very far in that 1 hour. Basically, it wasn't that interesting. I was bored. I wanted to move on to something else. I moved on to Mario Party or whatever, but I think that the Super Mario World content could have been way better. Last time, it only ran for an hour. And that is not enough time for anything interesting to happen. We don't want to see them almost do something. We don't want to see them almost get a checkpoint. We want to see them get the checkpoint. We want to see them ride the Yoshi. We want to see them collect 1-ups. We want to see them beat the level. So I automated the entire process, and it was not a quick and easy thing to do. Okay, so why are we doing this? What is the point of using somebody else's Twitch chat for a Twitch plays? And you'd be surprised to know that there are a couple interesting differences between seemingly random input and using specific streamers' Twitch chats. Mostly coming down to the different nuances and cultures of different Twitch chats, which I think is kind of fascinating. How do Twitch chats behave in their natural habitat? What is the difference between, XQC and Soda Poppin'? Is there a difference? Can we find this? I guess we'll find out. So, here are your contestants. Ooh. Everybody you see here will show up at some point. We're going to stream attempts for 50 hours. And every streamer is going to go until either they go offline or until they complete the level. 50 hours and see who does it the fastest, see who does it the slowest, see who does other things. So what exactly is going on? Let's take a look at the chat. For every message in chat, we look for these letters. Each of these letters correspond to this input. This means that if an A shows up anywhere in a message, it presses A, and so on. And if you look over here, you can see the inputs in real time. The first thing that happened after I started running the program was it launched the chat of a channel named EA Sports FC, or EA Sport SFC, EA Sports FC. And boy, did they suck. It was really looking like a repeat of last time. It was not looking good. It's not interesting. It's not fun. I actually started the program right before I went to bed, hoping that overnight a bunch of cool stuff would happen and I would wake up to like 16 completions. I went to bed, woke up, and they were still running. They were still going. It's not. I'm wasting my time, man. I thought... Yeah, I'm kind of wasting my time with this. This is just a repeat of last time. Nothing's going to happen. It's not that interesting. Get these guys off my face. I don't want to see them anymore. Next streamer. Ooh, look at that guy. That's Kaisenat. I'm sure you know him. Let's hope that he beats the game a little bit faster than 10 million kajillion hours. After switching it to Kaisenat stream, I retired to my room to once again work on fixing the 10,000 million bugs that seem to have popped up as soon as I went live. After doing that, I came downstairs to find my roommates, and they told me, how do I reenact this? I'm walking downstairs, and he goes, oh my gosh, Kaisenat beat the level. He did it, he beat the level. No way, really? Yeah, he did it. Dude, that's crazy. I wasn't expecting that. Whoa. No, but he beat it in an hour and 5 minutes, which puts him comfortably in first place, considering he's the only finish so far. And as soon as he got that time, we were like, dude, there's no way that anyone gets faster than an hour, right? Next up was Queso. He certainly was not running anywhere.
What do you mean bro's built like a 1x1 Lego piece? What even is a 1x1 Lego piece? Yep, you're banned.
But let's just see how he does. Wait. Okay. 5 minutes. That's a pretty decent time. No, that's not a decent. That's a crazy good time. Considering I just sat here for 8 hours watching this guy run into a wall and then spent another hour before Kai Cenat could beat it. 5 minutes? Queso was not messing around. Also, it's probably worth noting that timing ends on fade out, not on goal collection. It was a bit of a limitation with my program, but oh well. So, next up, let's watch Shroud. Now, if you thought Queso's time was crazy, Shroud immediately after beat it, putting him at first place. If every single streamer keeps getting first place, times are going to get pretty competitive really fast. But they don't stay that way. We have Blackboy Max, who before this event I was not really all that familiar with. But he does this, whatever that is, or that. Anyways, he has what some people call a WL community, which means every single thing he says is being responded to with either W or L. Now, W doesn't do anything, but with the way the program works, whenever L is put in the chat, Mario moves left, which is bad. And for the first 30 minutes of his run, that's exactly what happened. They're spamming L, they're spamming LOL, they're spamming LMAO. All of this results in Mario being stuck at the very beginning of the level. And this went on for half an hour. But at some point, something changed. Mario started running. And not only that, he kept running. And he ran all the way to the end. When I first saw this, I was a little bit confused. But if you actually look at the chat, they're spamming RT, 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 which is an R in it, which means Mario's running to the right. So he immediately beat the level after 30 minutes of doing nothing, ran to the end and won. This type of community I wasn't very familiar with. I didn't know what RT meant. I was told it meant retweet. In the context of a Twitch stream, I don't know. Anyways, with his time of 38 minutes, puts him in a position right behind Kai Cenat. So this is a WL streamer, but on the other end of the spectrum, we have the Poggers streamers. Streamers like XQC, like Asmongold. Now, I collected all of the chat data from the streamers we have here today, and I calculated where they all go on this spectrum. So Kai Cenat is right here, which you would expect as he is a WL streamer. But Blackboy Max is here, all the way on the end. I'm pretty sure in like 50,000 characters I checked, like a bunch of chat messages, it only said Pog like 3 times. So he is on the far end. That explains why he spent so long in the at the beginning of the level. W community, the Pog community, this is where everyone's at right now. We can use the y-axis also to sort them all from slowest completion to fastest completion, and we'll see if there's any sort of correlation. Anyways, back to the runs. Then we have Mr. Arthur, who, piggybacking off of the momentum gained from Queso and Shroud, immediately beats both of their records with a sub 3-minute time. Then we have XQC, who actually took him a while to beat the level, putting him in 4th. Then we had Moon taking XQC's place in 4th. And then we had Summit 1G, who I feel like is often compared to Shroud.
Set, go.
Yeah.
We have the Counter-Strike gamers, and Shroud put up a very impressive time. So let's see if Summit 1G can compete. Surprisingly, he gets a really good time, putting him in 1st. But that's not the craziest thing that happened. Immediately after, we get to somebody known as Lacey, who is another streamer I'm not super familiar with, but they put up this run. Let's just take a look at it in whole. whatever they're doing was working for the purposes of this challenge. Because they ran all the way to the end and immediately stole the first place from Summit 1G. But not only that, but with 0 cuts, let's take a look at the run that happened immediately after this. We get Peekaboo, who immediately beat Lacey. This is a back-to-back-to-back insane run. So you wouldn't believe that immediately after Peekaboo's run, we get Pirate Software, who beat the... No, he didn't win. He somehow didn't manage to beat the entire level in an entire 7-hour play session. Ow? I don't know. He's not a WL streamer. Everyone in this chat isn't spamming the same 2 things, causing him to be stuck at the beginning. He was actually making progress. He got the checkpoint a couple times, which I should mention, we are now tracking those stats. At this point was the time that I realized that it would be interesting to see some more things about the game, such as how many coins they collected, how many 1-ups they gained, how much time they spent riding Yoshi, how many checkpoints they've picked up, how much total distance they've ran. It was tracking a bunch of random stats that would scroll at the bottom of the screen, and you'd be able to see that. Immediately after I added this stat thing, I guess Pirate Software's chat wanted to try it out because they spent an entire 7-hour PlayStation racking up those stats. And this is what they looked like by the end of it. On the first night, I went to bed to wake up to the same person playing the same game. All day, a bunch of different streamers completed the level, and as soon as I'm about to go to bed again, Pirate Software gets on, and I wake up and he's still playing. Now, after Pirate Software went on his little escapade, he didn't manage to do anything significant for the next 7 hours, basically. I don't know why. He just didn't manage to ever complete the level. Well, I could not tell you. I could not find any specific patterns or situations to cause this, but there we go. So we're going to skip him for now. If he's still streaming, we'll get back to him later. Next up, we have Zach Rar, more colloquially known as Asmongold. Zach Rar uses the underground strat, and this is a very common place to get stuck. If you're holding down right, then you tend to get stuck going right. There's a little bit of nuance in the specific program that is actually running the code. The original SNES D-pad can only hold one direction at a time, meaning if left is pressed, it doesn't matter how many times you press right, they'll keep going left. And if right is held down, it doesn't matter how many times you're pressing left, they'll keep going right until right is unheld. But this means that if they're holding right to get to this point in the first place, they're typically going to keep holding right and get stuck at the pipe right here. He did not have a checkpoint, meaning if he dies right here, he has to start all over at the beginning, and the seconds were ticking down fast. And then he jumps over the charging chuck into the goal landing him a 7th place time, which at this point is getting kind of crazy that this is 7th place. Then we have Hassan, who uses Asmongold's strat more effectively than him himself and lands a 5th place time. And then we have Soda Poppin', another WoW streamer. Let's see how he does compared to the other WoW streamers. He has a lot to prove to beat Peekaboo. He gets a very, very good time, landing him 3rd. At this point, it seems like the WoW streamers have the best chat for whatever reason. After that, we cut back to Pirate Software, and he was back to his usual shenanigans, but this time he actually managed to finally complete the level, putting him in a very, very, very comfortable dead last. Sable Ronaldo was taking his sweet time, but unlike Pirate Software, he actually managed to complete the level. So he goes right above Kaisenet, putting him in 14th place, not even in the top 10. Then we had Your Rage Gaming, who actually got pretty close, but ultimately did not finish before going offline. So then it switched over to Kajol, who had another slow run, getting 3rd to last. It was super action-packed at the beginning, but now we're getting a lot of slow runs. Then we had LCK, another League streamer, well, technically streaming organization, I guess. They managed to pull out 9th, landing them in the top 10. We had Sinatra, who didn't finish before going offline. Then we had Iron Mouse, who didn't finish before going offline. Then we had Onipixel, another slow run, landing him 3rd to last.
Tyler won, who got
And
11.
we have Tubbo, who managed to get 9th. We've got Miskiv, we've got Mr. Savage, and they all put up very lukewarm runs. It really wasn't getting any interesting at this point. Somehow, right at the beginning, it started off extremely low, peaked like crazy with Peekaboo, and then now went really low again. And at this point, we were approaching the 50-hour mark, which was when I decided we would end this experiment. But right as the 50th hour was closing, we had one final competitor. Northern Lion entered the chat. Northern Lion's chat entered the chat. His chat, what? Anyways, he started running, and he started running fast. There was a real possibility that at the very last second, a buzzer beater Northern Lion would pull out the #1 spot. But unfortunately, he was got. He did manage to pull out a very respectable 3rd place in the last second, though, which, considering we had a 2-minute flat run in 1st place, is crazy. It was a little bit disappointing that we weren't able to get under 2 minutes, but such is the nature of the game. So now that we see all the contestants, I guess if you want to call them that, the streamer, the chats, the unwilling participants, we now have the data for the full graph. I am surprised that there is zero correlation. I thought for sure that the WL streamers would have a relatively slower time. This could just be due to the small sample size. You know, there might be a greater factor than, WL spam or Pog spam. Different types of emote spam, I'm sure, matter a lot. I thought this was kind of interesting nonetheless. Also, have you ever seen the Twitch community visualizations, things like this? Thanks to this guy for giving me some code that I completely reworked in order to generate this map, which isn't all that interesting. There's not enough data. Like, I want to do this now. I want to do this, 50 hours isn't enough. I should have done this for 10,000 hours. I could have a lot more data. A lot more streamers. I think it'd be interesting to have the entire atlas with all the different times. Maybe have streamers run multiple times. I don't know. But if you look at here, the bigger circles are the faster times. The little tiny bitty small circles, those are the really slow times. And the different colors are kind of like the same community. These are like the overlaps of the communities. Yeah, it's there. I don't think it tells us anything about this project, but this experiment, I don't know what this is, but there we have it. Real quick, if you like the video and you want to see more experiments live, you can go to my Twitch, or you could just subscribe for more videos talking about the experiments I do on Twitch here on YouTube. Thanks for watching. Bye.